Welcome into the show. This is Scrolling with Hayley. I'm Hayley Carania. Make sure you subscribe. Rumble.com/Hayley. It's Hayley, double Y's, double the fun. Hayley brings you to the Bongino Report channel. That's where you can watch Vince at 8 and me at noon, and I hope that you do. Everyone live in the chat right now already knows the drill, but you can listen and watch whenever you want. All I ask is that you tell a friend and support our sponsors. Today, I'm telling you about Quo. Most customers aren't waiting around for a callback. Maybe they're trying to book an appointment. Maybe they're looking for a quote. Maybe they just need help now. Whatever it is, if nobody answers, they're calling the next business on the list. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo. It's spelled Quo, the business phone system built so you never miss a call. With Quo, all your calls, texts, and voicemails live in one place, so your whole team can jump in, see the full conversation history, and respond fast without confusion. It's trusted by over 9,000 businesses to stay reachable and look professional every single day. Setup only takes minutes on any device. You can keep your existing number, scale your team without any IT headaches. Plus, Quo's built-in AI agent handles after-hours calls, answers questions, and even books appointments, so opportunities never slip through the cracks. Money's on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/scroll. That is quo.com/scroll. And without further ado, put your phones on Do Not Disturb. The show starts now. Someone in the chat just said it's their first show. Wow, welcome. You're in for a treat. I never really talk about myself. I try not to talk about myself and hype myself up too much. Andrew said, you never talked about your Olive Garden tweet on the show. And I was trying to be humble. I'm trying to be a humble queen over here. I wasn't going to talk about it, but he said you have to. So
sorry, I would have told everyone. Legitimately any person that I could get their attention.
Okay, so to fill you all in, Olive Garden, this has been going viral, not just my tweet, but a lot of people's responses to this. But Olive Garden has this never-ending pasta pass, whatever the hell that is. But this is what they say. Ready, set, pasta. Here's what you need to know for the Pasta Pass sale. And this was happening last week. And it says the sale kicks off at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And trust us, you'll want to be there. Set that reminder now and head to pastapass.com early. Don't say we didn't warn you. Keep your eyes peeled for the illuminating buy now button at 2 p.m. Eastern time. They really want you to buy this never-ending Pasta Pass. No need to refresh. Just click as fast as you can. What the heck is this? Okay, I guess this is for never-ending pasta. And someone on X had a question, and they, were asking Olive Garden, hey, it says that you need an ID, but can I buy pasta for my whole family? So they said this question: Are you able to order pasta for family using this Pasta Pass, or is that exclusively for the person with the card at the table? I don't know about you, but it'd feel really weird if just one person having unlimited pasta while everyone else awkwardly waits. What does this even mean? Can I say something that maybe people will get mad at? I've never been to Olive Garden. Not once, not ever.
Unfortunately, I am a grade A Olive Garden hater.
Oh.
The breadsticks are okay, but it doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Personally.
I've never heard I've heard good things about the breadsticks, but everything else I haven't really heard good things about. And I'm from Long Island, okay? I'm from New York. We have really good pizza. We have really good pasta. We have really good mom and pop Italian shops. So if I'm craving pasta or pizza or Italian food, I'm not going to Olive Garden. And for that reason, I've never been in my life.
Yeah, that's kind of my stance as well.
So I don't know. I can't even, people are saying in the chat that I'm not missing anything. Everything in that place is poison. I mean, someone else says they like Olive Garden. I'm not trying to, yuck people's yums. I'm not trying, this isn't really about the Olive Garden experience. I'm just telling you, I've never been, so I don't know what this pass gets you. I don't really understand the person's question at all. They're saying I need to show my ID to get the never-ending pasta pass, but they can't get never-ending pasta for the other people. That makes sense because, Olive Garden has a system here. They're trying to run a tight ship.
Do you remember Movie Pass that came out probably while we were in college, where you paid $10 a month and you could go see unlimited movies, and then they bankrupted themselves because that's psychotic?
Yes. This is like that.
I wonder if that's...
And they're trying to crack down.
They limited the passes, so
Right.
they're already doing better.
They're cracking down because you can't get never-ending pasta and have one pass and then use it for your whole family. Okay, so here's what Olive Garden said. This is how they responded to that person's question. No. The never-ending pasta pass is only for use by the pass holder whose name is printed on the pass. Passes are personalized and non-transferable. Pass holders must present a valid photo ID along with the pass at the time of ordering. So people obviously took this, at least this got on right-wing side of Twitter. And we were like, wow, Olive Garden is more secure than our elections. You have to show a photo ID, which is not ludicrous at all to have to show your photo ID. We have to show our photo ID all the time. If you want to buy beer, if you want to buy cigarettes, if you want to, you have to show your ID to get pasta at Olive Garden. So why would we not be able to show our ID when it comes to securing our elections? I think that that's obvious. So this prompted a lot of jokes about how the CEO of Olive Garden should run for office. Our government should take notes from Olive Garden. Most importantly, the Senate, who can't seem to pass the Save America Act, should maybe take a page out of Olive Garden's book. And this also prompted jokes about how if Olive Garden is requiring ID for never-ending pasta, then by the left's standards, which are totally retarded, then recently married women, and minorities won't be able to obtain an ID for said never-ending pasta. Oh my goodness. So now they're racist, now they're misogynistic, now they're this and that, right? According to the left. How sad. Except that's not actually true. But that's why the left's arguments against the Save America Act are trash. Everyone has an ID. Even illegals have IDs. That's why we need to take extra precautions now to secure our elections. The Democrats wanted to make sure that they had social security numbers, they had IDs, so that they would have everything they needed to do everything an American can do without having to go through that pesky citizenship process. We wouldn't be in this Save America mess if it wasn't for the Democrats' sanctuary city policies, and now they're mad that we're trying to basically fix their mess and clean up their mess. But this whole thing got me thinking. Showing IDs, immigration. What if, and I've covered the SCOTUS complete failure on birthright citizenship and anchor babies and all that. So I asked Olive Garden this. This was my contribution to the Olive Garden debate. What if I gave birth at an Olive Garden location? Is my baby entitled to a never-ending pasta pass? I just wanted to test the waters here at Olive Garden because they seem to have their heads on straight. They seem to know that it's not racist and misogynistic to be able to show your ID. So I don't know. I just wondered where Olive Garden stood on the whole birthright citizenship debate. Why not just ask? Not that it matters. And this is, of course, ridiculous, right? It sounds ridiculous because the concept is ridiculous. Imagine if giving birth in an Olive Garden granted you a never-ending pasta pass for your baby. Not you, just the baby. That's all it takes, right? If the never-ending pasta pass was as valuable as American citizenship, you'd see Olive Garden, underground birthing centers start popping up. People would have never-ending pasta pass rings. The Mexican drug cartel or maybe the Italian mafia would be in on it somehow, facilitating this whole thing. So liberals were mad at this. There were like a few liberals in the comments being like, this is so stupid. This girl's so stupid. You're almost getting it. I know how stupid this is. Now apply that to birthright citizenship. Isn't it stupid? They're almost getting it. They're so close. Anyway, next story that just got me Jake Tapper is so stupid. The left is so stupid. So Second Lady Usha Vance gave birth on Sunday to a healthy baby boy, Alec. And just you wait to see how the left responded. This is how the Vance family announced this amazing update to their family, right? We're excited to announce that our baby boy, Alec Neil Vance, was born this morning. Usha and the baby are happy and healthy. Our kids are overjoyed to meet their little brother. The incredible military doctors and staff, members of Walter Reed Medical Center and the White House Medical Unit have been a blessing. We are deeply thankful for all they've done for our family. And so the Associated Press reported on this, as soon as the family put this out, and the AP said, breaking news, JD and Usha Vance welcome a baby boy, the first child born to a sitting U.S. vice president in more than 150 years. And Jake Tapper, is he still at CNN? I don't even, like, these people are so obscure to me now. I used to be so dialed into where all these losers worked, and now I just don't care. I don't know where Jake Tapper works. CNN? You could tell me in the chat if he works at CNN. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. And Jake Tapper said this. What's with the refusal to name Skylar Colfax III? This is so ridiculous. What's with the refusal to name Skylar Colfax III, who went on to become mayor of South Bend, Indiana? Question mark. This is how you respond to a baby announcement? A birth announcement? Okay, someone in the chat said, yes, CNN. Okay, thank you. And he's wrong, by the way. You can't well, actually, and be wrong, right? You have to fact check, at least know that you're right if you're going to do that. And he's wrong. First of all, there's nothing wrong with what the AP said. And if Jake Tapper bothered to click on the article and read it, he would have seen that the AP did mention Skylar Colfax, who became a new father while he was vice president 156 years ago. So yes, Jake, that would make in more than 150 years statement true. And before the Colfax family, it was John C. Calhoun and his wife who welcomed a new baby while they were the second family. So instead of Jake Tapper saying, congratulations, or nothing at all, he had to undermine the second family's happy moment. And if you can't be nice, just scroll. Nobody is really looking for Jake Tapper to send the family flowers or anything like that. But if you can't say congratulations, just say nothing. This is kind of my take on almost everything. I've covered this before and I've been consistent. When someone dies, and even if you hate the person, can you just wait until their body is cold before you start being an asshole on Twitter? You know what I mean? Like, their family is grieving, and can you just have a little bit of humanity and put your differences aside? Someone just died, right? Like, we keep forgetting the humanity in all of this. So anyway, if you see a baby, in the same vein, if you see a baby's born, if you can't find it in your heart to say something kind, that says a lot about you. But also just shut up. Jake Tapper, just shut up. He had to do the whole what about Skylar Colfax III from the 1800s? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Just say congratulations. I hope the baby is healthy and happy and safe. Like, seriously. Anyway, President Trump, of course, congratulated the second family, posted a photo of two of the Vance children holding their new baby brother. And he said this, congratulations, a perfect baby boy for the wonderful Vance family. And Cuckturd, who is a troll on X, who is basically copying Cat Turd. So this is not Cat Turd, this is Cuckturd, said, I thought this was a picture of kids in ICE custody until I read Trump's comment. Now, why would anyone think that? Why would anyone look at that photo of a new family and say, these are kids in ICE custody? Why would you think that? I think the left can't find anything nice to say because obviously they hate Trump and they hate anything Trump adjacent, but they probably don't see the birth of a child as something to celebrate anyway. So maybe their brain doesn't go to congratulations, what a blessing. Their head goes to I hate this family, right? And I have to find something rude to say. So instead of scrolling, they can't help themselves but to say something nasty and racist. This person who hides behind, again, an anonymous troll account that's making fun of Cat Turd, not Cat Turd, someone pretending to be Cat Turd, is alluding to the fact that brown children must not be American citizens. Huh? That's what they're saying. They're so hypocritical and weird. The same people who want illegal aliens to be citizens are arguing that if you're not white, you must not be a citizen. That's not true. But the left runs with this narrative that because the right is anti-immigration or anti-illegal immigration, we must be racist. But then they're the racist ones. It was never about skin color for Republicans. It's never about skin color for Trump. It's about immigration status and the law. We just covered this yesterday. The freaking Canadian woman, she's white, and I want her ass deported because she's assaulting people and she overstayed her visa. She's not supposed to be here. I don't care what color she is. What she did is wrong. She broke the law. So who gives a rip what you look like or where you came from? We are pro-immigration so long as you are properly vetted, you come here the right way, and preferably you don't hate us. But the left, they really do tell on themselves sometimes. And in the wake of 2 ICE shootings last week, now the left is mad. Illegal aliens evade arrest because they want to avoid detention and deportation at all costs. They want to keep flying under the radar and pretending that they're citizens. And then when they get stopped by law enforcement, they don't comply with orders. They don't get out of the car. They don't stop the car. And in both situations last week, ICE agents reportedly feared for their lives and fired shots out of self-defense. We didn't see the video of the incident in Houston, but we saw the video of the incident in Maine. And there were 2 cops hanging onto the side of the car as the person driving the car was driving away. That's weaponizing your vehicle. And all of this is preventable, by the way. You don't have to come here illegally, first of all. And if you do, you don't have to evade arrest, and you certainly don't have to threaten the lives of law enforcement officers or escalate a situation that doesn't need to be escalated. But again, these are people trying to avoid the law. They're trying to avoid detection at all costs. Instead of encouraging illegals to follow the law, the left is just mad at ICE. So they fight fire with fire, literally. And this domestic terrorist dumped gasoline in front of the federal building at 46 Federal Plaza, Manhattan, New York. That's where the immigration court is, ICE offices, and the FBI's New York field office. And take a look at this blaze burning in front of the building. Watch. This person poured gasoline all over, lit it on fire, ran away. You could see that person running away, and they're getting tackled right now by law enforcement, thank goodness. More law enforcement running on the way. And now the incendiary device going off. You can see that. Thank goodness they got this guy. He also reportedly fired 5 to 7 pellets from an airsoft, like a BB gun, towards the building. And people were injured. There were 3 people, including a federal employee and civilians, who suffered minor injuries from the fire and the smoke. The guy, of course, was arrested. He's in custody. And the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is investigating because this is an anti-ICE, anti-government extremist. And I don't say the names of criminals to give them clout because that's what these people want. They want attention and they get the news coverage, and it's important to cover it so that people know, but I'm not giving this person any attention that they don't need, right? But authorities say he had a history of anti-ICE activism. Again, I do not consider this activism. I consider that terrorism. But he left behind anti-ICE signs and materials, and he told investigators he was targeting the building, and he was okay with harming people entering and exiting. Again, that's not activism, that's terrorism. And he was armed with a knife, an axe, a hammer, and a machete. So clearly this person is armed and dangerous, and he did all of this with the intent of hurting multiple people. And I know the authorities have to investigate motive and all of that, but I'm not law enforcement, so I'm just going to say that's terrorism. It's not activism. It's not protest. It's plain old violence. And here is how New York's lovely mayor responded to this. He posted this on X. What occurred outside 26 Federal Plaza this morning was deeply disturbing. I'm relieved no one was seriously injured. Well, people were injured, but okay. And that a suspect is in custody. My team is in touch with the NYPD, and we will support the federal investigation. Our administration will continue to ensure that every New Yorker is safe in their city and hold accountable any who threaten that. Okay. So, doesn't mention the inconvenient details. I mean, inconvenient if you're a leftist, about this being an angry, violent leftist attacking ICE. And this is all coming after Mamdani last week said to abolish ICE. He is one of these abolish ICE politicians, sanctuary state city politicians. He wants to do away with a lot of rules and laws, and he wants to get rid of jails. He wants to get everyone out of Rikers and move them all around the city, use Rikers for something else. It's actually, when I reported on this a few weeks ago, Mamdani said, what they do with Rikers after they get rid of all the criminals, they're going to kind of like put this up to the public and ask what the public wants to do with the land. And of course, there's some like climate change activism stuff that they're throwing out there. Really, I think we should just leave all the violent criminals on Rikers. Leave them on the island. I don't really understand why they need to be in the other boroughs spread out, whatever. But he wants to close jails, right? And I think for Mamdani, maybe he gets to check the box. He's campaigned on closing prisons and releasing criminals. So, he went to go watch the World Cup with criminals. He loves them. He loves the criminals. I don't think he's really in the business of cracking down on crime. He's actually in the business of redefining crime. And he said the other day he was trying to justify the fact that there are more rapes in New York going on right now, statistically being reported. And he's like, well, it's because we've expanded the definition of rape. So more things are considered rape now. But this is what the left does. They're anti-law and order. And they redefine words like felonies are no longer felonies, they're misdemeanors. So then, they get to manipulate the statistics that way. And the left loves to always call on Republicans to tamp down the rhetoric and not incite violence. And then we see the left commit acts of actual violence. And then the politicians, the leftist politicians that are very quick to point fingers at us, they're like, oh, there's nothing to really see here. So Mamdani completely misses the point. He's like, I'm glad nobody got hurt, not seriously hurt, but they did. And worse, the mainstream media, NBC News, said it was just fireworks. Oh, just fireworks and smoke. It was like a little 4th of July show outside of, the immigration building. Nothing to see here. So the original headline read this: fireworks set off outside 26 Federal Plaza. Sources say sending smoke billowing. That headline is horrible. And let me just tell you, from someone who has worked in the news industry for well over a decade now, that's a horrible headline. It tells you almost nothing about what actually happened. Fireworks, not true. So there's fake news in the headline. Sends smoke billowing. That is a minor detail in the story. A minor detail, and they're actually missing all of the pertinent details because it doesn't fit their narrative. So then after a lot of backlash, rightfully so, they updated the headline. Incendiary device deployed outside 26 Federal Plaza, FBI says. So now they get more details from law enforcement, and then they say, oh, okay, well, now we got to update the story. But I think they really updated the story more so, not because they got more information, but because they were getting slammed for their stupid headline. Even worse, though, if you read the subheadline, it says a possible anti-ICE activist deployed an incendiary device, and it's in quotes because they are putting it in quotes that, well, the FBI says that it's an incendiary device, but we said it was fireworks. This is their way of being like, well, that's what they said. So they're doing their, journalistic integrity thing, but it's really not. I mean, they could just take the FBI's word for it, but they don't believe it because if they do, then they have to admit that they were blatantly wrong. And they don't really want to do that. They had to update the headline because they were getting backlash, but again, they probably think that they're in the right here. And when they see this smoke billowing, that's the story, right? It's not who did it. It's not why they did it. It's not, did anyone get hurt? It's fireworks and a smoke show. Fireworks and a smoke show. Come on down, everybody. That's the NBC headline that they were doing. It's just absolutely ridiculous. A possible anti-ICE activist. Yeah, I'd say so. And according to law enforcement, they say, yes, he has a history of that. And he had an anti-ICE sign with him. So, yes, all of these little details, they would make up maybe a better headline if they could admit that they were wrong, but of course they can't. So this is an act of violence. It's domestic terrorism. Let's not sugarcoat this and say this is an activist with fireworks when clearly the intent here was to do damage and inflict pain, not just make a statement. This isn't just a guy with a sign marching around peacefully protesting. This is quite literally a fiery act of terrorism. I was going to say fiery, but mostly peaceful, if you remember that from the Summer of Love, but this was fiery and not peaceful whatsoever. But these people, it's not so much about protesting anymore. It's not so much about just making peaceful statements or anything like that. They really want to inflict damage. They want to inflict pain. And in this next case, this next video, it just goes to show how emotionally unstable these people are. They feel like the best way to get their issues across and their point across is to scream. And we can still hear you if you're not screaming. But this woman, as many F-bombs as she could possibly drop, she does. Watch.
You deserve everything coming your fucking way, you evil fucking Nazis! You soulless white supremacists! Fuck you! Fuck you! I'll fucking curse on all of your fucking families! I hope you rot miserably fucking alone! I hope the images of his 3-year-old fucking daughter watching her fucking father bleed out on the sidewalk haunt your fucking nightmares, you ghouls! You disgusting disgrace! You traitors to this fucking country! You're traitors to humanity! I fucking hate you! I hope you fucking suffer, bitch! I hope you fucking suffer! I hope you suffer the same fate of these people that are being murdered in the street! Fuck you! I hope they get you, bitch! I hope they fucking get you! Fuck you! God, I hate them! I fucking hate them!
Wait, you ended the video before the best part? So she goes on this, she's raging, of course, into this microphone. She doesn't even need the microphone. I should have warned everyone that this was going to be an auditory assault. Sorry, I should have done that. But she's screaming into this microphone, and after she stops screaming, she starts crying, and then all these women around her start hugging her. Like, they were like, good job, like you did that, you did that. And this is the thing with the left and all these liberal women. I'm reading through the comments of this video, and they think that this is effective activism. And I don't think that. And I'm reading your comments in the live chat right now, and people are saying over emotional. She's a psychopath about to have a heart attack. I just muted the video. Smart. And some people should not have a megaphone. I hope she hasn't procreated. She looks tragic. Someone's got anger management issues. So we're all on the same page. But the left is not. I'm reading through the comments, and this is what people are saying. Women are natural born leaders. This is beautiful. That's what they think good leadership is. Effective leadership is just screaming into a microphone, a megaphone. This is beautiful. There was nothing beautiful about that. That wasn't very ladylike, and it wasn't very effective. Someone else said, this, ladies and gentlemen, is feminine rage, and it is beautiful. Is feminine rage beautiful? I don't think that rage is beautiful, regardless if it's male or female. I think that, it's something, but it's not beautiful. Someone else said, this is why we should be a matriarchal society. I see that video and I think, I'm not sold on the matriarchal society if that's what they think it is. If that's their idea of female leadership, I'm good. You can leave me out of that. I don't think that women are horrible. I think you can be a good leader, but certainly not like that. If that is your idea of leadership and effective leadership and communication, we are not on the same page. I'm saying this as a woman. I would not want that woman leading me into anything. She's not thinking straight. This is a very emotionally unregulated person. Someone else said, women are leaders and protectors. So this is not just a few. I'm pulling these comments because I want you to know we're all on the same page here, but everyone else in this comment section is in favor of this woman screaming for no reason. Like, this doesn't do anything, actually. This commenter says women are leaders and protectors. What is she leading? She's leading these other women. She starts hysterically crying after this, and she gets hugs after. I guess she's leading people to hug her? Or is she leading women to be more violent? Is that the answer? Is she protecting anyone or anything by doing this? Again, you all know how I feel about protests. I will defend your right to protest. You have the right to do it peacefully. It is mostly really ineffective and stupid, and it's a waste of time. You will never see me making a sign and marching around and spending my time doing that because it's just really not effective. The leaders who are in charge of this country, who are actually the ones making decisions, they don't care that there are thousands of people marching around with signs and I mean, and I guess they start caring and paying attention when you light their offices on fire and stuff like that. But again, they're angry that they're marching around. They're demanding attention. The way that they're demanding attention is immature. And it's really off-putting, honestly, to hear this woman screeching like that. And they're angry that no one's listening to them. That's not the way to do it. You want to make your voice heard? Fine. Run for office if you want. Get enough signatures, get enough money, go run for office and make the change that you wish to see in the world. But to do this is completely useless. And that's the problem when you have the majority of society on that side think that this woman is not doing anything useless. They think that she is an effective leader. Imagine if our world was run by women like this. We can't let that happen. Someone else said, right on, soul sister, this is the energy we all need all the time. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if all women were like that all the time? The birth rate is going to plummet. The birth rate is going to plummet because no one's going to want to deal with these women.
I wish I had the time these people do to go do this kind of stuff. I wish I had the time.
I don't know where they find the time. I mean, I guess they have no jobs.
I like my job, so
I like my job too.
I got some other hobbies and stuff. I don't know where they're finding the time to go scream at a fence, I guess.
Seriously. When we make time after work, us here, we'll go play trivia and we spend time with one another and we have our families and our friends that we hang out with and we go to church and, we volunteer and whatever else that we do, right? We fill up our time. I like to read. I'm writing right now. Like I'm working on some projects and I wouldn't be able to find the time to do that, to scream into a megaphone for any reason. People in the chat are saying that they have no jobs. What
if I told you after you were done, you would get hugs from equally gross people?
Deranged people. I'm not sold. I'm not sold.
It was worth a shot.
Yeah, right on, soul sister. This is the energy we all need all the time. Could you imagine if people were screaming like that all the time? Could you imagine if these are the kinds of women, by the way, like they'll run for Congress. And this is why we see screaming matches on the House floor. You remember with like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jasmine Crockett going after each other, AOC, like they're always going after each other. Ugh. Shut up. Do your job.
A little bit of normalcy would be great.
Anyway, someone else said, women are changing the world finally. Finally. Women haven't done anything until this woman was just screaming. It's actually like insulting to say that. Women are changing the world finally. Finally, they're outside of some like ICE detention center and they're screeching and now they're finally doing something. Is she changing the world? No. She's changing people's eardrums, maybe. She's getting hugs from people, but no. People said, who is this queen? And she speaks for 99.9% of us Americans. Unless I'm the 0.1%. No, I don't think so. I don't think that at all. ICE approval rating is certainly down right now, but I think they've got about 40% approval. I'm one of the 40. I'm sure people in the chat also support law enforcement and support ICE, regardless of these tragic deaths. I mean, it's. I don't want to see people die, but then again, I don't want to see people put ICE in harm's way either. So actions have consequences. Don't be stupid. Don't break the law, and then don't be even more stupid. It's pretty easy. We talk about this all the time. It's pretty easy to not get killed by ICE, but these people can't really seem to figure it out. And then they have this army of angry liberal Karens who just like come to their defense. And I just don't understand why they don't encourage people to follow the law. None of this would happen, but the left is getting more bold in their virtue signals, and so are the illegals themselves. I'm not sure where this illegal alien murderer gets off thinking he's owed anything, but Ruby Garcia's murderer, the illegal alien accused of murdering a young woman back in 2024, has been deported before. He was deported under the first Trump administration. He came back under, anyone want to guess? Anyone want to guess? We had an open border for a few years. He came back. And then he came back and he shot his then girlfriend multiple times. And again, President Trump had this guy deported. He came back, killed someone. This is like the poster child for Biden's open border crisis and why we shouldn't do that and why overwhelmingly the United States of America wanted to put a president who actually cares about law and order and safety back into the Oval Office, and we did. So President Trump had used the illegal alien murderer's mugshot as a cautionary tale on the campaign trail, again, alerting voters of the realities of Biden's open border, juxtaposed next to Trump's closed border and law and order and build the wall and all of that. Trump deports the guy, Biden lets him back in, murders girlfriend. It's a perfect story for President Trump to use on the campaign trail. That's what President Trump would call a bad hombre. So now that bad hombre is mad that Trump made an example out of him because President Trump talked about this story on the campaign trail, used his mugshot in ads and videos and whatnot. So now this degenerate is now representing himself and suing President Trump for $75.5 million. He's also demanding citizenship and a public apology from President Trump. You have to be so delusional. Seriously. So, like, living in a fantasy world. Imagine breaking immigration law, murdering an innocent woman, and then demanding anything at all. He's lucky he's got a roof over his head in jail. I wish he had another outcome. But why would President Trump award this lowlife a dime? He's got no legs to stand on to demand citizenship. It's a privilege, not a right, and it's a privilege he is never going to earn. Unless, of course, Kamala Harris or someone else gets in office and pardons him. I wouldn't be shocked. But this guy, this murderer, is embarrassed that President Trump made an example out of him and used his mugshot. He should be embarrassed. More than embarrassed, he should be ashamed and apologetic. But here he is demanding the world. And that's the lie that the left has sold illegals. You deserve everything you want without earning it. And by the way, this guy is not only a murderer, but he is a complete moron. The government technically owns the mugshot. The police department that took the mugshot owns that photo. He doesn't have rights to that photo. So as long as you give the police department credit, it is public information. He has no rights. He has no legs to stand on. He can't say, use this, don't use this. You don't have the rights to do that. He doesn't have any rights. And the attacks on Trump and his family keep on coming. The latest targets being President Trump's sons, Don Jr. and Eric. Now, Hunter Biden wants to square up. He was on the I've Had It podcast with Jennifer Welch, and here she is stoking the fire and the flames. Watch this.
If Don and Eric called right now on your cell phone and said, we want to meet you in the White House lawn.
Yeah.
You're going to fight me first, and then you're going to fight the other one. Are you going?
Neutral territory. I go bring them out to Lafayette Park. I'll do it there. Or better even, let's go to Lincoln Park where I used to buy crack. We'll do it there. It's only 2 more blocks away if they can make the walk. Oh my God. That just the opportunity to punch either one of them in the face. Of course, it would be very demeaning for the public discourse. I get it. I'm 56. I'm out of shape. I swear to God, if they offered me a cage match, I would take it in a second because you know what? I would die before I tapped out. I would be dead and I would have to feel the shame. But the chance.
This is nuts.
Did you catch that small comment he made?
Which one?
Where I used to buy crack.
Well, of course. First of all, he said, well, I wouldn't do a cage match at the White House. It would have to be neutral territory. Is the park you used to buy crack at neutral territory? I feel like that's his stomping grounds.
Classic podcast where she's like, yeah, definitely.
And she's just
Good
laughing.
Spot.
Yeah.
Not, hey, that's crazy.
It's totally crazy. And then, of course, Hunter Biden makes this dig. Like he says, yeah, I'm not, I'm not in the greatest shape. I'm 56 years old. And then he was like, well, I don't know if the Trump kids can walk over to the park. Why wouldn't they be able to do that? Just like logistically, I'm just thinking about like the stupid comments that he's making. Why would anyone not be able to walk over to the park?
I hope.
Actually, it's much safer now that President Trump is in office. All the National Guard's there. It's cleaned up. No crack addicts.
If I ever screw my life up, I hope to have the grace that is given to Hunter Biden.
Artiste. He's an artiste.
A business mogul.
Of course. podcast extraordinaire.
He hung out at the White House for 4 years, and I'm assuming he had input on some things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's the ultimate Nepo baby.
It kind of rocks to just prodigal son.
And not deserving of any of it.
Just good for him.
Just a screw up. So now he's on this podcast, right? And he says he hates the Trump kids so much. Also, why? He hates these adult kids so much that he wants to physically fight them and would die doing it. What is the point of even bringing up this hypothetical? But it's because the left is so obsessed with stoking the flames and furthering the divide between left and right, Democrat, conservative, Republican, whatever. The only way they know how is by encouraging more violence. Despite telling Republicans not to do that, but we're not doing that. They are. They are the ones stoking the flames. It's projection at its finest. They're telling us out in the open under the guise of some hypothetical joking podcast question that they want to do physical harm to people on the other side of the political aisle. It's really bizarre. And it wasn't always like this. The right is not like this. This is an exclusively left-wing violent rage thing. What is the obsession with fighting people? Now they're fantasizing about the Civil War and why they think they would win instead of the Republicans. Listen to this.
You have a modern Civil War where it's liberals against conservatives would get the shit kicked out of them. You guys have no allies. No one else in the world likes you. Who are your allies going to be? Russia, already bitten off more than they can chew. The I country doesn't even help us in wars that they start. You would have no allies. No one likes you outside of like the South. Also, you guys don't read and you want a war against the blue hair they thems that you love to bully. I'm telling you, the blue hair they thems are going to be reading. They're going to be reading Sun Tzu's The Art of War. They're going to be studying the Battle of Algiers and IRA tactics in Belfast. They're going to be learning how to make C4 and hack drones. You guys think that you would win this imaginary civil war because you have more guns. That's not how you fight a modern war. We're seeing that in Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine is tossing them a beating on just drones. They're just getting them right in their foxholes. And that's what it would be like here. Also, it would be mostly South versus the North. And the South so conveniently always forgets that we have winter up here and wars are fought outside. The Northerners are going to be using ice fishing shanties that we already own, wearing long johns that we already own, under Carhartt overalls that we already own, with gloves that we already own. How are you going to get this stuff? Because Amazon is not a viable supply line in the middle of a war. You also have terrible economies. The red states are terrible. You have two red states that make money, Texas and Florida. Famously reliable ally, the Florida man, and Texas, known the world over for their generosity. The Texan is going to help out all the other welfare states that you cobble together. I kind of hope that there is another civil war because the South and the right have been running their fucking mouths for so long, and somebody needs to shut you guys the fuck up. You could not win in a modern civil war. Absolutely not.
Someone in the chat said this guy is gay as fuck. Yeah. So first of all, he was saying that the blue-haired they thems would win the war because they'd be reading up on how to fight war. Also insinuating that people on the right don't read or can't read, which is just this trope that they go with. You know, they think that people who live in Oklahoma are just uneducated and everyone's stupid, which is not true. But this is what they go off of. Like, this is why they think that everyone in Massachusetts is smart, you know, because it's this blue state and there's a bunch of colleges there. So it's like the most educated state or whatever. And they always use this as this, like, they pat themselves on the back that the most educated state votes blue. Just because you went to school doesn't mean you're smart.
Who are the people?
And going to school doesn't make you good at war either.
No doubt. And who are his friends that clearly are from the South and red states who keep running their mouths?
Yeah.
Like, who's he hanging out with that they're like, yeah, Billy, oh, by the way, we get you guys good. Like,
the
what?
South, he's like, the South keeps running their mouth. Who? Who is running their mouth?
Is his friend named like Kyle?
Who is this? Yeah, someone in the chat just said, who the heck is this Nimrod? Right. So I guess we don't read and therefore we wouldn't win the war. But if I understand correctly, most people on the left are hopped up on SSRIs, some cocktail of drugs. They're too afraid and too anxious to leave their houses. They have to work from home because they're anxious. They can't pick up the phone because they're anxious. So are they going to be very reliable in combat? None of them go to the gym. They think that they're part of the body positivity movement. They think fat is beautiful. Is fat going to be beautiful when you're on the battlefield? I don't think so. It's going to weigh you down.
I also love that 90% of war preparedness is winter clothing. We have Carhartts. We got gloves.
We have long johns.
Y'all don't stand a chance. All right, dog. We do have Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't know.
I think we'll be okay with our Bass Pro Shops and our what are those called? Like our Doomsday Prepper. We're all set. You don't have to worry about us. Actually, you do have to worry about us. You do have to worry about us. We're prepared. That's the thing.
Such a ridiculous scenario.
It is ridiculous, but it's also kind of eerie how their hatred for Republicans has gotten so deep that they are fantasizing about Trump dying. This guy is quite literally salivating at the thought of killing his fellow Americans. That's what this is. These people are so brainwashed, they refuse to see the humanity in their neighbor. If that neighbor doesn't agree with them politically, if they didn't vote the same way, they want to kill people who don't agree with them. And then they call us the fascist Nazis. That is blind rage, what we just watched. Blind rage. And speaking of rage, we have a road rage incident that I found on TikTok that we must watch together. It's a little long, but you guys, I don't think you've seen a road rage video quite like this before. Watch.
Are you upset? You gonna cry?
Are you upset?
Why are you asking? Let's use our brains real quick.
And you're upset. You're upset? Go.
upset?
Go. Look,
You're
the light
upset?
is green.
Go around.
Go.
Go around.
Go.
Go around. Go around. Go around. Go around. Go around.
This
Go
girl.
around. Go ahead. Go around.
Can
Girl.
you please leave
no,
my car
I don't have
so
to.
I can
you
go?
honked for what?
Can you please leave so I can go?
Who's in the
Please?
wrong here?
Please?
The person that honked?
You're
Boo-hoo?
spitting all in my door.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Can you please
I don't
leave?
give a fuck.
Like, this is
I
a
don't
lot.
give a fuck.
This is a lot for
I
what?
don't care. Why'd you honk then? Are you upset that I did something?
I
You
hope
caught
like
the
you
right
have.
one on
I
the
hope
right
you have
day.
a better
You
day.
caught
You
the
look
right
very
one on the
upset.
right day.
You
I
look
was
very
doing
upset.
perfectly fucking fine.
Go, like, girl.
I was doing
okay,
perfectly
girl.
fine.
Now you're dragging it.
I am
Like,
dragging it for a
you're
reason
dragging
because
it.
you wanted
Just
to
go
do
to your
something,
car.
right?
Just
You
go to your
honked,
car.
right?
Just go to
You
your car.
honked, right?
And when
And I was going 50 miles per hour in the
like
school
you're
zone.
spitting
It's
in my
literally
face.
in elementary
You're literally
school. Are you
spitting in my
upset?
face. Okay, at
Are you
this point, I'm
upset?
calling the police.
Call the police. When I didn't do shit to you. Go ahead. Waiting. Fucking waiting. I will wait.
Can you
honked
just
at me for
leave?
following the speed limit.
That's
You're
not
upset.
why. That is
You're
not
upset.
why. That is
what
not
the fuck
why.
was it? Because I was
That is
literally
not
going
why.
25 and
That
fucking
is not
15
why.
over there. I was actually
Okay,
breaking
yes.
the fucking law.
I honked at you. I'm
For
so
what,
sorry.
though?
Can you
For
can go
what,
to your
though?
car. I'm so sorry I honked
But
at you.
for what though?
Can you go to your
for
car?
what though? Obviously you want to start something. You were
No,
upset 'cause I got out of my car.
I don't want to
Do you
start
honk at people
anything.
all
That's
the
why I'm
time?
asking you
Do you
to
honk at
please
people all the
leave.
time?
Light is about to turn green
I don't
again, and
care.
you're still with your
Look
car
at
here.
consequences.
Still going.
Actions have consequences, don't they? Don't they? Don't they? Look at you looking dumb. Look at your.
Can you move? Can
Look at
you move?
dumb.
You
dumb.
do.
I'm just making
You're
sure
the
that
one
you
who
miss your
looks
light.
really crazy.
I'm just
like,
making sure that you miss your light.
hey,
Honk
move
at me
your
for
fucking
no
car.
reason.
Like, I've
You
been
move-
being
you honked at-
respectful.
No,
Move
you
your
weren't.
car
Why
out of
did
the
you
way.
honk at me?
Okay. First order of business, roll up the window. None of this has to even happen. Roll up the window. Roll up the window. Sorry, can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. I would start laying on the horn until she got back in her car. And if this was in Florida, you could take action into your own hands. I'm just saying. I guess this wasn't in Florida.
I am not a great driver. I get honked at and flipped off a decent amount.
Someone in the chat said mace her.
Not once have I thought I should get out of the car now to confront this person.
Nope.
And especially
Normally
down
when
here.
people
like,
honk, there's a reason. Some people are assholes, but I think if someone's honking at you, you did something.
down here, as soon as the light's green, you get a love tap.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Florida.
Or instead of just taking it as a, oop, I wasn't paying attention, the light's green, whatever. You get out of your car and you start screaming at someone until further notice. I mean,
What's the end goal here? Like, there's
I don't
no
know.
actionable items given.
Well, she was like, call the police on me. Now there's nothing wrong with honking, but now she's obstructing traffic. She is in everybody's way. Now she's holding up. I mean, this is insane. And then, she's all over the internet now because this goes viral and now she has to apologize. Watch her apology.
Well, the first girl even hit her with the, "Oh, I'm sorry."
She
like
did?
to get her to leave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I honked," and she still went crazy.
Yeah, she was having a bad day, I think.
I have to take responsibility for my own actions. I have to admit that I was wrong and I let my better judgment fall very, 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 very short. I was driving down elementary school zone. It's a 50-mile-per-hour zone. I was just jamming out, not breaking any laws or anything, literally just driving along. Heard a honk, looked in my rearview mirror,
50 at a
and I thought I
15.
saw a cop car real quick, an undercover cop car. Didn't think anything of it because I wasn't doing anything bad, so I kept driving. This is the car that I saw. It spooked me. Got to a red light and heard a second honk while I was slowly stopping, and that's when I realized this is somebody just honking at me. So I started talking out the side of my mouth, and then I heard somebody. So I looked in my rearview mirror and I realized the person that's in this car was recording me yelling out their window. So I grabbed my phone and started recording myself and the person yelling. I was going back and forth. It was bad, and it gets worse because my anger just kept building and I was not making it any better whatsoever. Got out the car, was directing traffic to move around, yelling at her, wanting her to admit that she honked for no reason.
That's the goal. She just
It's
admitted
so
it.
hard to say that that's literally what caused me to act like this, but that was literally what caused me to act like this, and I can't not say it wasn't. That's literally all it was a honk, and this is what happened. One of the worst days of my life, because she admitted it, she apologized, she called the cops. Cops came, talked to the cops. I'm so glad that nobody pressed charges because they both could have. This was June 18, 2025, I believe. I'm not the person I was a year ago. I am not the person I was 5 months ago. I'm working so hard to be better than the person I was a week ago. All I can do right now is take accountability for what I did and work so heavily on not doing this ever again, not being the person I don't want to be, not letting my emotions take charge of who I am as a person. It's just not what I want. I do not condone this. I don't think anybody else should condone this at all. People agreeing with me in the comments, please don't. I can't take it back, but I'm gonna move forward and let this not happen again.
People agreeing with me in the comments, please don't. She's right, though. No one should be agreeing with her.
You gotta give it to
I
her.
gotta
Good
give it to her.
apology.
She did apology. She did apologize. The apology is thorough. I will say the apology probably was warranted, considering all of this is on social media now. The apology would have been better if it was at the time. Right?
I mean, duh. Yeah, it would have been so much better to
Like,
say.
she's only apologizing because she got caught, essentially.
Yeah, it also.
She was filming. She knew this other person was filming. I don't really know how you can act like that in general, but I don't know how you can act like that knowing that they're filming and knowing the consequences of that. We live in this viral social media era. Why would you let yourself crash out like that
the
with
second
someone
the phone
filming?
Comes out, yeah, the second the phone comes out, it's just have a good day.
Obviously, the person filming is going to post it. And then she said, she was like, I was filming too. I didn't see her filming, but
It was a mental game.
it was, yeah. But you can't defend this now. So, I mean, she can't. She can only apologize for it. She can't defend it. I'm glad that she's not trying to defend it. Now, I don't know where this woman is located, but she does seem to have, the theme for today's show is violent liberals, violent leftists, and also people who can't regulate their emotions. This seems to be a theme, right? Maybe if this woman is based in the Chicago area, she might want to try the Chicago Scream Club. You've heard of run clubs, but this is for liberals who can't control their emotions, or maybe they can't afford therapy. Watch this.
Final scream. In 3, 2, 1.
Well, I feel better now. I don't know about all of you, but I feel really good. I let that out and I'm all better now.
Is that a Facebook group, you think? How do you connect with like-minded individuals who want to scream at the Great Lakes?
Like-minded screamers. I don't know. I think because we've covered this before, there are retreats. People pay thousands of dollars to go on retreats and scream like this in groups. And again, I will maintain that these are theater kids that don't have an outlet anymore. They need a creative outlet or something. I think they were probably inspired by the Hillary Clinton screamer, Scream at the Sky lady, who was wearing the beanie and the lime green jacket when Hillary Clinton lost the election, and she was like, ah! Now they think that this is a normal way to express your emotions. It is not. If you want to go home and scream into your pillow or something, I guess, but you have to wonder why people get to this point. Why are you so angry? Maybe question that. Maybe instead of getting together to scream with people, maybe you can go to like a group therapy. This is not therapy. Maybe they should try an actual run club and they would get their endorphins up and they wouldn't be so angry. They wouldn't be so fat and miserable. Maybe just try an actual run club. An actual hobby. This is not a hobby. Screaming into the ether is not a hobby.
In 3, 2, 1.
The poor fish in the lake. They're like, what the heck? It's damn, it's Thursday night again. These freaks are out.
Oh.
Could you imagine, like, you're taking you had a long day of work. You're like, let me go for a walk by the lake. That'll be nice, right?
Oh, man, Scream
It's
Club
Scream
at 4
Club.
o'clock again. Jeez.
Now people in Chicago are going to have to avoid the Scream Club if they want to enjoy the beauty of the lake, you know? What a shame.
What an absolute shame. Should we start Scream Club?
Ah! Everyone, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go to the ocean, scare some birds, ruin
I
some
feel
days.
better. I feel better. Listen, they would feel probably a lot better, again, if they got medicated with whatever they need and if they did find an actual hobby that isn't just, again, an auditory assault. I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize again for today's episode. Lots of freaks screaming on the show today. I'm going to save scrolling time for tomorrow because we've only got like 2 minutes left. So we'll do it's Wednesday tomorrow, right? We'll do a super scroll. I'll do a super scroll for you on Wednesday and on Friday. So we've got plenty of videos and I'll see you then. Bye.